Hello friends, welcome. The India-Ghana relationship is an important topic for the UPSC Civil Services exams, especially for General Studies Paper 2, International Relations, and also for the other competitive exams. After this video, we will upload another video, which covers the MCQs on India-Ghana relationship. You can freely download the notes and MCQs on India-Ghana relationship from our website www.indiaexams.co.in. Now, let's begin. Let us study the India-Ghana bilateral relationship on the basis of historical, cultural, economic, and strategic ties. We'll also study how this relationship strengthens India's foreign policy with Africa. Here is a detailed analysis, specifically useful for UPSC aspirants. We are going to cover important issues between India and Ghana. We also study the strategic significance of this relationship and how it helps India's global aspirations. First, let us examine the historical and cultural ties between India and Ghana. Historically, both the India and Ghana have shared anti-colonial legacy. Like India, Ghana was also a British colony till 1957. Hence, both have a history of resisting colonial rule. Ghana was the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence in 1957. Ghanaian leader, Kwame Nkrumah, was inspired by India's freedom struggle. He was particularly influenced by Mahatma Gandhi's non-violent resistance. This shared history brings a sense of solidarity between India and Ghana. The next point is people-to-people connections. There are over 15,000 Indians live in Ghana. This Indian community in Ghana acts as a bridge for cultural exchange between India and Ghana through Hindu temples, gurudwaras, and ISKCON movement. These institutions promote Indian culture in Ghana. Also, the events like the Festival of India called Matri, which was celebrated in 2017, and the Yoga Day is celebrated in Ghana since 2015. These things also strengthen the cultural ties between two countries. Now, let's look into South-South cooperation. As you know, the South-South cooperation is the cooperation between developing countries. Both countries support for the Global South. As the Global South emphasizes mutual respect and equality. India's philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family, also aligns with Ghana's aspirations for self-reliance and development. Now, let us see what relevance it has with UPSC exams. Questions on India's role in supporting African nations' independence struggles or cultural diplomacy, soft power, may appear in General Studies Paper 2 in mains or as part of essay topics on South-South cooperation. Now, we will focus on the economic and trade relations between India and Ghana. First, bilateral trade. In 2023, bilateral trade between India and Ghana was approximately $3.3 billion. This makes India one of the top trading partners of Ghana. Ghana exports gold, cocoa and timber to India. Gold makes over 70% of its exports to India, while India exports pharmaceuticals, agricultural machinery, and transport equipment to Ghana. The trade balance favors Ghana due to gold exports. Now, let us see the Indian investments in Ghana. Indian companies have invested over $2 billion in Ghana. These investments are in 900 projects in different sectors. These sectors include pharmaceuticals, steel, and retail. Some Indian companies who have invested in Ghana are B5+, Melcom and others. The Ghana-India Trade Advisory Chamber was established in 2018. This chamber promotes socio-economic exchange between India and Ghana. India is helping Ghana with development assistance. India has extended over $450 million in concessional lines of credit, LOCs, and grants for various projects in Ghana. These projects include rural electrification, sugar and fish processing, and the Temamapkadan Railway Project. This railway project includes a 300-meter bridge over the Volta River. This bridge enhances the connectivity between Ghana and the neighboring country Burkina Faso. India is also helping Ghana with digital and technological cooperation. In 2023, India established the Ghana-India Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT. This is a premier IT research and education hub in West Africa. India has offered to share its Unified Payments Interface (UPI) expertise. India also has a plan to roll out its UPI in Ghana. Now, let us check how relevant are the topics discussed so far in UPSC context. Economic diplomacy, trade imbalances, and India's development assistance through letter of credits are key topics in General Studies Paper 2. Aspirants should note India's goal to double exports to Africa by 2030. And should also prepare a notes on what kind of competition and challenges India faces with China in African markets. In near future, we'll also provide one video on this topic. Now, let us study the strategic and geopolitical significance of India-Ghana relationship. Ghana is gateway to West Africa. Just see the map on your screen. Ghana is strategically located in coastal West Africa. Ghana is also a member of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the African Union, AU. Through Ghana's ports, India can reach many resourceful, landlocked countries of Western Africa. As you know, in many of the African countries, there is a political instability, and in some countries there is a military dictatorship. Since 1996, Ghana has a democratic governance and political stability. This makes Ghana a reliable partner in the region. Ghana has a huge reserve of critical minerals. India has an ambitious target of 30% electric vehicle population by 2030. For the manufacture of electric vehicle batteries, lithium is very essential mineral. Ghana's lithium reserves are vital for India's electric vehicle (EV) ambitions. India's critical mineral mission relies on African nations like Ghana for securing critical mineral supply chains. Security cooperation. Similar to India, there is rising threat of extremism in the Sahel region of Africa. Ghana's role in African peacekeeping missions and its national counter-terrorism framework align with India's interest in regional security. Joint military training and defense exports strengthen bilateral ties. Global South advocacy. Ghana supports India's bid for a permanent UN Security Council seat and other international forums, reinforcing India's role as a voice for developing nations. UPSC relevance. Questions on India's strategic partnerships, competition with China in Africa, or the role of critical minerals in energy security are relevant for General Studies Paper 2 and 3. Aspirants should analyze how Ghana fits into India's broader African strategy. Development and capacity building. Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation (ITEC). Over 1,100 Ghanaians have been trained under ITEC in fields like IT, healthcare, and business. Ghana's participation in India's eVidya Bharati and eArogyabhrati network project offers online scholarships to African students. COVID-19 assistance. India provided Ghana with 600,000 Covishield vaccines in February 2021 and 50,000 vaccines as a gift in March 2021 and again 1 million more as a gift in May 2022 under the COVAX initiative. This showcased India's Vaccine Matri initiative. Educational scholarships. Over 1,600 scholarships have been offered to Ghanaian students, with Ghana as a pilot country for India's online learning initiatives. UPSC relevance. India's soft power through capacity building and humanitarian aid is a frequent topic in General Studies Paper 2 and essay papers. Aspirants should highlight India's demand-driven, non-exploitative development model compared to China's debt-heavy approach. Political and diplomatic engagement. High-level visits. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Ghana in July 2025. This is the first visit by an Indian Prime Minister in over 30 years. This visit has elevated bilateral ties to a comprehensive partnership. Modi was conferred Ghana's highest civilian honor, the Officer of the Order of the Star of Ghana. Memoranda of Understanding, MOUs. During Modi's visit, 4 MOUs were signed on cultural exchange, standardization, and cooperation in trade, health, and digital infrastructure. Commonwealth and Non-Alignment. As members of the Commonwealth and Non-Aligned Movement, NAM, India and Ghana collaborate on global issues like climate change and sustainable development. UPSC relevance. Questions on India's diplomatic outreach, high-level visits, or its role in multilateral forums like Non-Aligned Movement and the Commonwealth are common in General Studies Paper 2. Aspirants should note the significance of Modi's 2025 visit as a milestone in India-Africa relations. Challenges in India-Ghana relations. Competition with China. China's $220 billion trade surplus with Africa and its Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, pose challenges to India's influence. India must counter China's dominance in infrastructure and resource extraction. Economic constraints. India's own developmental needs limit its financial commitments compared to China's large-scale investments. Regional instability. Political unrest and extremism in West Africa, example, Sahel region, could impact India's investments and security cooperation. UPSC relevance. Challenges in India's foreign policy, particularly competition with China, are critical for General Studies Paper 2. Aspirants should analyze how India balances economic limitations with strategic goals. Opportunities for deepening ties. Agricultural collaboration. India's expertise in agricultural technology can support Ghana's food security and rural development goals. Renewable energy. Collaboration in solar energy aligns with India's International Solar Alliance, ISA, and Ghana's renewable energy needs. Trade agreements. Negotiating with ECOWAS and the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, can enhance market access for Indian goods like pharmaceuticals and IT services. Defense exports. India can expand defense exports and joint training to strengthen Ghana's role in regional security. UPSC relevance. Opportunities for India's engagement with Africa, including trade agreements and renewable energy, are relevant for General Studies Paper 3, Economy and Environment, and essay topics on sustainable development. Conclusion. The India-Ghana relationship is a cornerstone of India's broader Africa policy, driven by historical ties, economic complementarity, and strategic alignment. For UPSC aspirants, understanding this relationship is crucial for answering questions on India's foreign policy, South-South cooperation, and competition with global powers like China. Key points to emphasize include India's demand-driven development model, cultural diplomacy, and strategic partnerships in critical minerals and security. Aspirants should also note the challenges of regional instability and economic constraints, alongside opportunities in trade, technology, and renewable energy. This multifaceted relationship underscores India's commitment to a multipolar world order and its role as a leader of the global South.